Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Well, how would you assess how things are going? A week plus in the camp.
Yeah, I mean, we hadn't done a ton of tackling yet. That's a huge part of it. But you can still coach off of leverage and how we throw the ball carry. I think that's inconsistent right now. Just getting guys out there who hadn't played a whole lot and playing full speed. But I've seen flashes of good stuff. Just got to be consistent. Coach Harrell talked about toughness. I guess it would have been last Thursday, and I was talking about the guys. I mean, I think the toughest people I know are consistent, and in what they do on a daily basis, and that's what we're trying to get out of those guys. But seen plenty of flashes, like I'm sure Coach Harrell's mentioned, we've got some older guys, not necessarily always experienced, but they're older, so they know how to come to work and things like that. So the effort's there, we just got to hone in on doing our job and all those types of things.
Do you feel that when you got here for camp, everybody had retained everything that was installed in the spring?
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a lot of retention from the spring, but at the same time, we brought in a lot of guys over the summer. So I think we had a good offseason. We had a good summer, and I think we're probably day 7 or 8, whatever it is now. Really we've got everything in from a base down standpoint. So really now you're just evaluating the player because he should know what to do and things like that. And if he doesn't know what to do, then he's not going to be out there. So. But I think they're retaining what we want them to do. It's just a matter of executing and going out and playing football.
Seems like as you've gone into full pads, like I saw a couple of your guys like farmers carrying a dude off the field today. Have you kind of seen that intensity? How is it matched up intensity-wise with what you want?
Yeah, our guys play with an edge. I'll give them that. The culture that was here already when I got here. These guys, they love football. They play with an edge. They play violent, and we've been pretty violent this spring or this fall camp. Sorry. So far. I appreciate that. That's what we need. You still got to practice like a pro and take care of your teammates when the time comes. But I'm looking forward to us being live on Saturday in the stadium.
When you put on the full pads this past weekend, how long in your experience do you expect to lose all the rust and kind of get back to full game shape?
It's like I said. I think you just gotta. I think you gotta go defensively. You gotta go tackle. I don't see how you can evaluate who your best 11 to 22 guys are if you don't know who can tackle them. Because we can run all the best schemes in the world, but if we can't tackle and get off blocks, that's just what defense is. So, I think once we get that full scrimmage under our belt, we'll have a good evaluation, and slowly but surely we'll chip away at who we think are the guys we need to roll with.
Is there a guy or a group of guys that seem like have made a jump since spring to now, just based on things clicking really, or what you?
Probably I think that first group of safeties is pretty salty. Jamarly and Demarius Hines and Teagan and KJ Merrill and those guys. They're kind of the top 4 that kind of rotate in there a lot, and I've been pleased with them this camp so far. Marley, had a really good freshman year. I know I wasn't here, but if I watched the tape, he had a really good freshman year, and him taking a big jump as a sophomore will be a huge deal. And then you got Demarius Hines, who kind of took on a bigger role as the season went on, and I think he's going to be a big-time player for us at safety. And then Teagan's well-known around here.
When you have a guy like Jamarly who probably has some expectations, how do you make sure there's no sophomore slump? Keep asking him to go to the next level, keep pushing him to go to the next level.
Yeah, I think you just, as long as you hold people accountable, they're going to continue to get better. There's always something he can improve on, and he's a special kid. He doesn't. He sits right in that chair right there, and he's got the best eye contact in all our unit meetings, and really focused and locked in. He runs the show out there at free safety, and really pleased with him. He doesn't act like a sophomore. But we push all these guys. It doesn't matter if you're the all-conference NFL guy or whatever. And that's the culture of our team. I have had no issues with him. I have no expectation of him having a sophomore slump.
Well, Teagan, he's a guy who left and came back. Obviously, there's different coordinators at the time.
Yeah.
But when you're bringing so many young guys along, how does having an older guy like that help with, getting everything installed that you want?
Yeah, because, as a young guy, you try to teach them, but they really don't get that many reps to learn, right? So you got to have solid 1s and 2s who can go out there and give reps. So when you turn on the tape, you can say, this is how you do it, this is how you practice, this is how you prepare, ... And, having guys like Tegan, that helps a lot, you know, because it doesn't matter what scheme we run. He's been in a lot of systems, and he picks things up really easily. He moves around a lot. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife for us. So, you know, a lot of guys are learning from him, not just the young guys, even the juniors. I feel like are learning things from him.
Coach Tesh, obviously been here a while.
Yeah.
Almost tenured assistant. I know you've got a background with Coach D-line. What do you just kind of notice from his group and his technician teaching and kind of the growth they've made since you've been here?
I mean, they got a great no-nonsense approach. I love that. You know, everybody always talks about O-line. It's kind of a group that gets no credit. You know, I think especially those interior guys, you know, they get double-teamed half the time. And if anybody thinks that's easy, try having 600 pounds of you-know-what leaning on you for 50 plays and see how you like it, you know. So I think those guys just have a no-nonsense approach of just understanding I'm going to do my job and I'm going to go to work every single day. And Coach Tesh is one of the best in the business and does a great job of preparing those guys. Like you said, I mean, D-line was kind of my baby for a long time, and I really like how those guys are playing. And we just, you know, we're really deep there, not because we got 8 all-conference kids, but because we got a lot of guys that can play for us. So when you have that, those guys can push each other because it's probably a rotating door as to who starts, you know. And so really excited about that group in that regard and the competition. You know, if they don't come on their A game, they're liable to be a 2 the next day. And so really excited about how they're practicing and the group they have.
Coach, Sam Daka almost kind of feels like a wild card in this defense.
Yeah.
How is his move to a different position and being able to be so flexible for your guys and being able to help your defense?
Good. I mean, just when you got a guy that long, you know, it doesn't matter if you got him on the edge or at linebacker. You know, it helps your defense. You know, I think him honing in on linebacker is what he's working on. You know, I thought he had a good off season. He's eager to learn, and you know, if we can just get him in spots to fit his skill ability, you know, I think it's going to help our defense a lot. He makes a lot of plays. I mean, you look out there, he didn't even start last year, and I remember watching film. He had a big interception versus Tulsa and some other things. You know, the guy just makes plays. He gets his hands on the ball. He gets after the quarterback. So we just got to find ways to create good matchups for him to go make plays, and that's my job. So.
What are the biggest things you want to see in this first scrimmage Saturday?
I'll say it's tackle well. You know, I mean, that's obvious, I guess. But, you know, I just when it comes down to it, that's what the game is. You know, I think we run the best schemes. I think we got a great group of staff. But, you know, we got to tackle. And that's stopping the run and driving on the football when they choose to throw it. So I want to see us do that. I think we'll do it well. You know, sometimes in you know, in practice when you're thud, you tell them, you know, you probably would have missed that tackle. And say, no, if we're full speed, I would have. There'll be no excuses this time around. So that's what I love. I ain't got to listen to it, and so I'm excited to see those guys go out there and pull their pin and get guys on the ground.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.